You're listening to an installment of CreatureCast, an NSF-supported podcast about the unexpected world of animals. This is brought to you by the Dunn Lab at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. This is Daniella Prince, and this episode is about comb jellies. Growing up on Long Island, I was constantly near a dock or at the beach, so seeing what I thought were jellyfish in the water was pretty common. A particularly horrifying experience for me was when I was riding on a boat on the Long Island Sound, holding a net in the water, and once we stopped, I pulled out the net and all that remained were these globs of gelatinous goo hanging from the holes of the net. I was freaked out, but more so intrigued, since I had no idea what I had done. But as I got older and started to learn more about marine organisms, I found out that what I was seeing, and what I had unintentionally mutilated, were actually ctenophores, also called comb jellies. More recently, I was at the beach with a few friends in Barrington, Rhode Island, when all of a sudden some girl started yelling that she saw a jellyfish next to her leg in the water. I was excited and curious to check it out, but she was totally caught off guard and freaking out, since I guess she thought it was going to sting her. Anyway, I waded over and saw a tiny, transparent jelly blob floating in the water. And trying to help this girl out, I said, "No worries, it won't sting you, that's a ctenophore." And unsurprisingly, she was not comforted by this, and continued to inch away, saying,
"A what-a-phore?"
A ctenophore. Ctenophores are a group of gelatinous marine animals that are placed possibly as the sister to all other animals, but at the very least it's clear that they diverged from all other animals pretty early on. They're superficially similar to Scyphozoans, a group within Cnidaria which houses the jellyfish you're used to seeing, but ctenophores don't have those stinging cells, nematocysts, that true jellyfish have, so they're harmless to humans, and they also move around in the water using a different method. What makes them unique are their teens, which are bands of fused cilia that form 8 vertical rows all around their bodies and are used for locomotion. These teens are often referred to as comb rows. Each of these combs consist of several thousand cilia. The beating of their teens in the water results in the thrust that moves the ctenophore in the direction of their mouth. Some ctenophores also have 2 long tentacles that they use to capture their prey. All over the tentacles there are these specialized cells called colloblasts, which are exclusive to ctenophores. These colloblasts release small adhesive granules which stick to prey. So, yep, even things made out of jelly can be voracious predators.
Do they always look like that?
Well, ctenophores are diverse in form. Most of them are transparent, but some of the deep-sea species are pigmented. Speaking of colors, ctenophores often produce this fantastic rainbow effect, which is a result of diffraction. Their teens cause light to scatter through regularly spaced slits, so we see this constant wave of colors as they move. It's pretty striking. Many ctenophores are also bioluminescent, and they have these cells located beneath their comb rows which generate light from a chemical reaction. Most ctenophores are holopelagic, which means that they spend their whole life cycle swimming around the water column. However, there are also ctenophores which are benthic and creep along the substrate. Some of them have these muscular wing-like lobes that they use along with ciliary locomotion to propel themselves through the water, and some of them completely lack tentacles.
So they're pretty much jelly and cilia?
Yeah, I guess, mostly.
So, if they're all jelly, how do they, do it?
Oh, well, it's pretty simple, actually. First of all, most ctenophores are hermaphrodites, so this means an individual can produce both male and female gametes. Their gonads are located beneath each of the comb rows in canals, and the sperm and eggs are expelled from the ctenophore's mouth into the water column, where the sperm must then find an egg and fertilize it. Ctenophores generally use cross-fertilization to reproduce, but self-fertilization has been observed in some species. After fertilization and embryonic development, the result is a planktonic juvenile, a cedipid larva. It's easy to tell it's a baby ctenophore since you can see that it has the 8 comb rows and a pair of tentacles. The larvae of burrowi lack tentacles, just as in their adult form, and the larvae of benthic ctenophores fall to the bottom and metamorphose into their adult form instead of staying in the water column. Juvenile ctenophores are able to start producing gametes before they are even full adults, and once they are adults, they can produce gametes and spawn daily for weeks, given that there is a sufficient food supply. In the absence of food, the ctenophores will stop producing gametes and decrease their body size. Once food's available again, they can return to their normal size and continue to make sperm and eggs. And these capabilities make it possible for ctenophore population sizes to increase really quickly, since not only does it sometimes take just one ctenophore to make more ctenophores, but with juveniles and adults spawning so often, they have rapid generation times. And although sexual reproduction is the norm, some benthic ctenophores are also capable of asexual reproduction in the form of fragmentation. So yeah, I might start worrying about them taking over. The scientists from the Biomar cell group over at the marine station on the Bay of Villefranche have done some really interesting research using Burrowi ovata. The eggs this species produces are relatively big, about 1 millimeter in diameter, and they've been able to get some great footage showing the events leading up to fertilization in ctenophores. They've been able to show that polyspermy can occur, so unlike most other organisms where there are mechanisms to prevent the penetration of the egg by all but one sperm, more than 20 sperm can enter one egg. Once the sperm have entered, the large female pronucleus migrates and appears to be making a choice between several of the smaller male pronuclei. Finally, the female pronucleus settles and fuses with one of the sperm nuclei. It's not clear what the exact reasons for this choosiness is at this point, but part of it may be attributed to the fact that sperm of other marine species were in the water while the ctenophore was spawning. So the egg has to pick the right one if it wants a chance to successfully make a new ctenophore. Whoa! Yeah, these jelly things are pretty remarkable. That's ctenophores for ya. From Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, this is Daniella Prince. Visit CreatureCast.org to see more rad stories about animals. Thanks to Ben Esposito for the music, and thank you for listening.